the assembly enzymes that make thyroid. So you can have both because both are autoimmune. Having one autoimmune, you can get another. Now, sometimes in Graves' hyper and hypothyroidism, it balances itself out. The patients I have, it kind of, one's stimulating, the other breaking it down, so the levels can be kind of normal. What we do here, probably 1 out of 3 patients I have Hashimoto's, so I do a lot of work with that. If you just don't treat the thyroid, you got to treat the immune system. Okay, you got to work on all the immune modulation to get those numbers down. That's how you treat it.
When I had the hyper, everything was elevated. My heart rate, my pulse, my temperature, my body temperature. I know when I'm in hypo, because everything's, I've gained weight, my body temperature is like 96.7, so.
Well, and again, you have to work on the immune system. You're vacillating. Your immune system needs to be looked at. There's a lot of ways we do that. It's not just looking at the numbers. You got to really try to get the immune system regulated. You're welcome. Any other questions? So what are you making for dinner tonight? Not bagels, okay. Yes, ma'am.
Questions. So one of your slides, you had weight loss strategy was maximize thyroid function, reverse leptin resistance, eat for your hormone body type. Where does exercise come in for that?
Exercise will do 2 things. And this was mostly on hormones, remember the talk today, not just weight loss. As I said, Biggest Loser, I don't know what they do dietarily. They never show much about the kitchen, but they're exercising them 8 hours a day. So that's one strategy to break leptin resistance, is high-impact exercise. In fact, to increase growth hormone, we call high-intensity interval training. That's called burst therapy or interval training. And so that can be very useful to increase growth hormone and things like that. My take on exercise in general is exercise, you cannot lose weight just exercise, unless you're doing it 8 hours a day like the Biggest Loser. Us common folks, it has to be through dietary or these other approaches to make sure. Because just think about it, 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. Okay, 3,500 calories is one you have to burn off. If you ran 1 mile, you'll burn off 100 calories. So if you left here and you ran 35 miles, you'll burn 1 pound. So you got to run over a marathon to lose 1 pound. Now, marathoners will lose fluid weight, but that's what they'll lose. So to attack it solely through exercise is not going to be enough. So you see, you need exercise, obviously, for other things, brain function, heart function, all of that. And it does increase lean muscle mass and weightlifting and all that. I think weightlifting is very good because you got to build muscle mass. The heart is a muscle too, but that usually exercise aerobically is just burning calories. Again, even an hour run, what are you going to burn? A couple hundred calories at the most. That's not going to make 1 dent of any weight. So you have to approach it through another way. I mean, they're all needed, but not by itself. Unless you're doing it 10 hours a day like they're doing it.
So if you didn't exercise and you just did that, would you lose weight?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure you could do these principles, assuming what we talked about. Yeah, you'd lose weight whether you exercise or not. Now, you may not be in good shape cardiovascular-wise, so that's a whole other thing. You need exercise for brain, and I mean, when you need to exercise, that's the best thing there is. But as far as a weight loss, you can't do it. You can't exercise your way to lose weight, in my mind. It's just not, you can't do it enough. So, any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
How do you feel about vegetarian diets?
I have a lot of very heavy vegetarians. Vegetarian means that you're just not eating meat. But if you're eating Cinnabons and bear claws and confectionery sugar, grains, you're going to gain weight. So that's all vegetarian in my mind means. It's just you're not eating meat, flesh. I think it's okay. Vegetarians often are missing carnitine, B12, and some other things, but that can be replaced. There are good protein powders and supplements. So I think it's a lifestyle. There's other approach. Not everybody has to be meat. You can be vegetarian. Make sure you have enough protein and things like that. But as a general rule, vegetarians are not necessarily healthy. We tend to think of them just eating salads, but no, you're eating, bread and pasta is not meat. So you can be very heavy, eating a lot of grains.
What would you recommend then if they were trying to follow more like a paleo type diet?
The paleo-vegan type diet, you have to do protein powders. There's a lot of protein powders are made from artichoke protein, pea protein, hemp protein, things like that. And they're powders, you mix them in. Just the average woman needs about 60 grams of protein a day. If you exercise a lot, maybe 80. But 60 men need about 75 to 100. Some of the protein powders will have one scoop will be 30 grams. You can get two scoops of that. There's your whole protein need for the day. And then you mix it with salads and avoid grains and have a lot of good fats, seeds, nuts, avocados, those type of coconuts. So you can do it. There are people who do it. But you got to avoid grains.
Then too, it matters what your thyroid function is, what's going on in your own body. Everybody's different. It's almost like everybody has their own special recipe. And I tell people all the time when they come to see Dr. M, it's kind of like going to see House, the guy from TV, except no bad attitude, no Vicodin. So.
We're detectives. We look. And usually what we find nobody likes, because we find food allergies, we find all sorts of things in their bodies that that has not been looked at. So we find things, and that's how we get people better.
But knowledge is power. When I was at my biggest, I was 279. And
You can't imagine that she was 279.
I was 279 pounds. I had high blood pressure. I was on 3 medications for it, and I was a diabetic. And I don't eat a perfect diet now, but I have worked hard enough to lose the weight that I've gotten to a place where I'm really comfortable, and I'm notorious I'm one of those that I walk around, I'm a big bottom. I walk around the office, you can ask everybody here, I'm notorious for having a cup of oatmeal in a coffee cup. And in between patients, I have my oatmeal, or I have, whatever it is that day, but I eat like 6 to 8 small meals a day, if you'd call it meals. It's more like power snacking for me, and that works for me. It might not work for the person.
If I did that, I'd be out like this.
Yeah. So that wouldn't work for my husband.
Because I'd be eating Cinnabons 6 times a day.
They are good.
Okay, well, I think we'll wrap up and come back next month. We'll have a talk on, I think it's heavy metal toxicity.
Yeah.
Right, for heavy people. Thank you for watching tonight's seminar on weight, women, and hormones. We hope you enjoyed the presentation. The important points for weight is to look at the whole body. The emphasis will be on know your body hormone type, and reversing leptin resistance, and maximizing thyroid function. We do sophisticated testing here to follow these things, and hopefully will lead to progressive weight loss for you. Come back next month where we'll have another presentation at the Center for Natural and Integrative Medicine.
For information on this subject and other DVDs available from the Center for Natural and Integrative Medicine, contact us weekdays during normal business hours at 407-355-9246. That's 407-355-9246.